One of the most memorable scenes in Riverdale's first season was when Jughead had a surreal dream sequence in which he, Archie, Betty, Veronica, and other familiar faces from the show were decked out in their classic Archie Comics wardrobe. This season, fans were treated to a number of promotional images from Season 2's second episode, featuring the characters once again in comics-accurate wardrobe, but that sequence never made it into the show. "We actually shot this really cool sequence that we ended up cutting for time," showrunner Roberto Aguirre Sacasa told EW. "The camera tracked across like 4 or 5 booths, and each booth was a different time period. In one booth, you had the kids in the 40s. In another booth you had Kevin and Moose in the 50s, and in another booth you had Josie and the Pussycats in the 70s. In the next booth, you had Cheryl in the 80s. One of the challenges facing film and TV writers who are adapting comic book properties with decades of history is finding a way to make the Easter eggs and references organic enough that they are a thrill rather than a distraction for the viewer," and Aguirre Sacasa told EW that he and the writers are still on the lookout for another opportunity bring fans the classic look as soon as they can. "The tension of the show is the wholesome iconography and the Norman Rockwell looking back at the past, and the grotty, more noir, underworld side underneath it. That's the thesis of the show," Aguirre Sacasa explained. "Every story we tell, we say, okay, what's the dark underbelly of this? That dream, which on the one hand is idealized and perfect and not a hair out of place, but then there's FP just out of frame, down on his luck, there's Archie with a knife in his back, there's Betty and Alice tilting their heads at the exact angle as if to say, if you don't conform, you'll die." That dream sequence captures the essence and the big theme of the show. Riverdale returns to the airwaves on Wednesday, January 17 at 8 p.m. ET/PT on the CW.